All right, guys. Here we are, man, on location out here in the Eastern Shore with, of course, we got the original Ryan Gass here and our good buddy Richard, the Shorebilly, out here in the DelMarVa. Awesome week of training. Came out here to do some a little bit of workcation, right?
Yeah, work vacation. I like it.
Out here on the coast doing some Ocean City stuff, and then also earning that bread during the day, training up some new firearm shooters. But we got Richard here because we trained on Richard's property. Now, Richard's an interesting person, right? So, and if you've listened to Ryan and I talk in the past, you've probably heard us talk about the Shorebilly Farmer. And good guy, but he allowed us to kind of facilitate his massive, like, man crushed size garage for the day. Seeing is amazing. And then do the training. So we said, Richard said, you're a good guy. We sat there, we talked for a couple hours during the day, said, you know what, let's get him on the podcast again. So welcome back, Richard.
Oh, I was here for the beer.
Oh, that's right.
Just here for the beer.
You want to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were having this interesting conversation here before we decided to, like, as you can tell, this was not planned, right? This is totally improvised here. But
Yeah.
But as you can, just before we got on, we were having this interesting conversation about. So I have, I got a 17-year-old kid, right, Josh, senior in high school, coming up. For, you know, his entire life, we've tried to shepherd him in a direction to where he would be successful, right? You want your kids to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So about age 14, he's coming into high school, and the decision was, all right, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? You want to work on computers? You want to be a garbage man? You want to, you know, build houses, be an iron worker? Like, what do you want to do? You want to work with your hands or you want to work with your mind? That kind of stuff. And at the time he was saying he wanted it to do, you know, computer stuff. Which kid doesn't at that age? You know, you're playing video games all day long, watching YouTube guys get famous, right? You want to work. You want to work in that kind of stuff. So
among other things, I mean, there are other things on the internet. I'm not going to go into it, but there's fun stuff on the internet.
You said
you know 14,
what? Right?
Yeah. So he's out of his room. So I'm assuming it's not that stuff that's on the internet. But so at 14, we started at the school that he goes to. There's that. I was mentioning this earlier, but for the guys who are just tuning in, there was two tracks. There was like the university track, and then there was kind of like the manual labor track, where you do the bare minimum in high school just to kind of get through, get your stamp, and then you get on with your life. So Joshua, he's been on the university track. What that means is AP courses, kind of advanced math, different things that are going to set him up for college.
He's brainiac.
Yes, but he's very smart, but he's also a jock, right? He plays football. He does this other stuff, you know, so he's not just like a dweeb. In the general sense of the term.
Hey, every family's got to have one.
Yeah, that just tells me he's got to go to an Ivy League school, which Dad
cannot afford that.
You got to reach
the podcast ain't paying good enough, brother, all right?
Hey.
That's why we need you guys over on the YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, all right? Because I got to make some money. But here's another part to the story. And guys, we're getting somewhere with this, all right? But
He's got a point. He's dragging it out, but he's got a point.
yeah, well, I got to build up the anticipation. You guys have already heard the point. So you're like, all right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. But so here's another for instance. All right, this is about thinking with the wrong head on your body from a male perspective, all right? A few weeks ago, we were going to get him a car. Now, he already had a little truck as a beater, right? But we were looking at getting him something more reliable that would last him through college. And I had a car I bought. It's 2018. It's got 30,000 miles on it. An old Chevy Cruze. Oh, it's not even old. It's a new Chevy Cruze.
What year? 2018.
It's got 30,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
I bought it.
You bought it new.
Yeah, I bought it in September of 2018, so it's not quite 3 years old.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I told Josh he had an option, right? He could get this car, but what he really wanted. Hey, what's up, girls? Oh, no.
All right, you smack her back, okay?
Say yes, sir.
Sawyer. You're the big sister. Take charge of this post.
But anyhow, all right, so we'll get back to the car. So I basically told him, like, hey, I'll give you this car, right? All you got to do is pay the insurance on it. And he started thinking, he's like, well, you're going to give me a car. He started looking at, like, the trade-in value. He's like, basically going to give me.
You're going to trade your giveaway.
Yeah, right? And he's looking at it like that.
Wow,
and what he really wants is a Mustang or a Camaro. right? And, hey, plug your ears if you don't like foul language right now, but
He wants that pussy magnet.
he wants that pussy magnet. Exactly, right? High school, senior, football team, smart kid, driving a Mustang or something, He's in good shape, good-looking kid. He's kind of like Shorebilly there, right? He's got he's kind of built with the kind of the blonde hair. He's got more hair than you, apparently. Clearly,
He's got breasticles on him then, huh?
I'm going to get to when you develop them things here in a little bit, because I don't know if it's the hormones working on the... I don't know if it's working with the soybean or something that got you like that, but...
Corona titties.
But anyhow, so, we ended up having to talk reason into him. Like, Josh, look, for the same price, the kind of Mustang or Camaro that you're going to get, oh yeah, open it up. The Mustang or Camaro you're going to get is going to be 10 to 15 years old, right? And it's going to have a buttload of miles. And let me ask you guys something. If you had a Mustang or a Camaro, are you going to, like, pussyfoot with it, or are you gonna?
Oh, hell no!
You're gonna mash the gas
wheels off of it.
Exactly, Ryan. What about you?
I'm gonna go hill hopping.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna be you're gonna be bob 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 everywhere you go.
The Camaro is going to run its own wheels off anyway, so stick with the Ford if you want anything that's decent.
What about those Mustangs? Like, dude,
the E Mustang, the new one.
I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a second. I was on the phone with my brother, and I was pulling out of this place, or not pulling out. I was just driving down the road. This Mustang was pulling out of the place, and I was going all slow because we were coming up to that red
What
light.
were you driving?
I'm driving my big ass truck, my 3500. GMC.
My big ass truck. Here
Big ass truck.
I gotta preface it with big ass.
Not just a truck; it's a big ass truck. So no, but anyway, long story short, this Mustang goes to go around me, and he's gonna get over to the left hand lane to make a turn. But as he's coming around behind me, he wants to do Mustang things, and it's like, and I think he tries to kind of burn out and spin around me. And I'm like,
hey.
I've been on the internet. I've seen Mustangs do this and how they end. And I was like, I want my truck. So there's a little gap in front of me. So I made sure to close that gap and make a little room. So if he starts losing his shit, he can eat the curb and not my truck. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to be on Facebook, get my truck lost in a total accident with a Ford Mustang. What the shit?
Well, Ford versus Chevy there, we would have seen what happened.
Yeah.
But, so anyways, right, like all 17-year-old young men, at least the kind of kids that I grew up with, and I'm assuming by the look on your guys' faces, similar. Oh, yeah. He's not one of those kind of foo-foo bitch-ass boys, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like looking to wear skinny jeans and make TikTok videos all day long, right? This guy, he's a man. He's a young man. He's coming into age, right? And he's about those women in his life. Mom and dad had to talk some reason into him. Like, look, that's fine, but the kind of car that you're going to end up getting is going to be somebody else's problem, right? Nobody just, sells a perfectly running Mustang or Camaro, right? There's always something, especially when you're at 100,000 miles. That's 100,000 miles of hard driving.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're always rode hard, put away wet.
Yes,
always. Exactly.
Yeah. Kind of like Ryan when he went to boot camp, from what I understand. And we'll get to that story in a little bit. All right.
Why are you walking funny again?
He says it's his foot, but
I was concealed carrying a handgun naked walking down the street.
Yeah, figure that out. Where are you going to conceal a handgun if you're naked, right?
Prison pocket. Yeah,
they issue M16s, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Long gun.
It's got to fit somewhere. Make it fit, private. Say yes, sir. Yes, sir. So anyways, mom and dad had to tell him, like, look, and then he's talking about getting like a second gen Camaro, like in 78, 79 or something. And I'm like, dude, okay, you're in high school.
One of those.
You're in high school. You want to play sports. You want to work. You want to go to college. When are you going to have time to fucking work on this thing all the time, right?
And feed it gas.
Yeah, exactly. And feed it gas. So anyways, over time, over the period of about a couple weeks, we ended up convincing him that getting the car that's reliable, that's paid off, that's ready to go, he doesn't have to worry about anything. And I just got to put this out there in case you're listening. Thanks, mom and dad, for helping us out with that, right? But we convinced him that was a good idea. He came to the realization himself, right, with some convincing. So now we find ourselves in another situation where I think, as dad, I need to kind of convince him of some stuff. Now, before we get into it, first of all, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. It's listening. And you guys in the room already know me, so you understand I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings here. But just for everybody out there, Shorebilly is an Air Force veteran. Ryan's a Marine Corps veteran. Right. And I'm a dirty girl Army National Guard veteran.
All right? See, he couldn't even remember who he was. You know he's Army. That's how you know he's Army.
He's Coast Guard in disguise. He's not even DOD.
I got to hit it. I got to hit it. I don't claim to be something I'm not. I ain't no fucking Captain America here, right? I was a wrench turner. I was a mechanic. But anyways, right, I've kind of seen the few forces as they work. I've got another brother and my dad that were Navy. I've got a brother-in-law that was Air Force, had a career in Air Force. Now he's out. And I've got another brother that's Coast Guard, right? He's E7. He's been at it a long time.
So all branches represented.
All branches in my family have been represented. Exactly, right? I've seen it. And so my son, this little bastard, a couple days ago, I come home from somewhere. I don't even know where I was at. I was mowing the grass or I had a long day or something. I got home and I just took a nap. Boom, hit the couch. I felt so good to be on the couch, right? And the next thing I know, it's like 45 minutes, an hour later, I wake up and Josh is talking to somebody on the phone like, yeah, that'd be cool. And I'm like, who's he talking to? I tell Raylene, I was like, who's he talking to? She's like, that's the Marine Corps recruiter. And I was like, what the fuck? Where'd he get the number? Right? Those guys don't belong here in this house, And
did you grab the phone out of his hand and be like, who are you?
No.
I don't know who you are.
That Marine
I
Corps,
don't know who you are.
Marine
I
Corps,
will find you.
He probably would have ended up working me around to where I was saying yes, sir, by the time I handed the phone back to my son. You know what I'm saying? These guys.
I have a particular set of skills.
And I'm going to get your son in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, he would have him recruited.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? I've got time.
Yeah, I got
you know
the
what?
father-son duo.
I'll be 39 coming up pretty soon. If I count the years I was already in, yeah, I'm re-enlistable. Let's do it. But no, so I'm looking at Josh, and he's, here's the thing. Let's just kind of admit it right now, as at least, I'll admit it from my perspective. You'll have to leave it up to Richard over here to admit it from his perspective. But the American Marine is looked at as probably the fucking apex predator of the planet.
Baddest motherfucker in the room.
I don't know if the Air Force would agree with that, but,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat a nuke, but I will say a Marine and his gun is probably the deadliest weapon ever devised.
Right. Now, of course, you've got SILs, you've got, TAC
Don't
P,
let that go to your head.
You've got TAC P in the Air Force, right? Everybody's kind of got their special forces branches that are badasses in general, but the infantry, the Marine infantry is, I would put up against the Army infantry is, the best in the planet. Right. Yeah. And there's something about the Marines. They got the ball, right? The few, the proud, all that shit. That just sounds so fucking sexy to a 17-year-old.
The Blues, man. The Blues are panty droppers.
Yeah.
Well,
the Blues and a Camaro, you're done. You're good.
That's
you
true.
get that 30% interest rate, right, with E1 pay and a stripper outside of Jacksonville. And next thing you know, you got 3 grandbabies and an E3 son, right?
Well, how else are you going to get Kardashian? You got.
I don't know. So I'm in this dilemma. So I'm up here right now with Ryan and Richard out here on the Eastern Shore teaching gun stuff. And my son calls me today, actually calls my wife, right? While we were training, I think you were out spraying fields. Raylene and Katie are talking. And she comes in, she's like, Josh has been calling me all day. And I was like, what happened? She's like, he went and saw the recruiter today. Motherfucker took him out to lunch, had him take a practice ASVAB test, and then started
whining and dining.
Yeah.
Dude, these guys, there are as many recruiters as there are drill instructors, and the drill instructors only make up about 1% of the total force, right? It's a select few that you can get that tour, right? It's in the Army, you have kind of 2 choices, right? You can be recruit or you can be drill. And this guy's a recruiter. And he's got to be good at his job. Yeah. And, he sold him. He sold my son. Sold him to the devil, right? Sold him to, 13 weeks of Paris Island. Just.
When I heard, he even sold him on the infantry.
Did he actually sign up?
No.
He can't sign up without mom and dad there. He's not 18 yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's in for.
Here.
Yeah, we've got some leverage here. I could play him up a little bit. But so we finished the day training. Josh calls me on the phone on the way here. Of course, Ryan's calling me like 15 times, like beep, 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 and I'm having to hit the ignore button,
Now, your son does know Ryan, right?
Yes.
He does know that he has trouble completing a complete sentence.
Yes. He knows.
I don't have
Okay,
trouble
all right.
completing a full beer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the fucking, he's thinking.
It's the stigma.
He's thinking with the wrong head.
Yeah.
Right? He thinks that, again, I don't know his mind perfectly, but I understand him, right? If you look at the Camaro Mustang example, right? Like, you could have got a Cadillac, right? But why did you want the Mustang or the Camaro?
Got a bigger back seat. Cadillac.
It does.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's got a V8. It's a sexy car, all this other stuff,
There's
right?
the reason why I had a Lincoln Continental when I was in high school.
It wasn't because of the trunk?
Yeah, no.
Well, then he upgraded to the Bronco because the Continental was getting stuck, right? Is that how it happened, or do I got that backwards?
No, I actually went from the 73 Volkswagen Bug to the Lincoln Continental, back to the Bug with a race engine in it, and then to the Bronco.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
so it was a
the John
progression.
Deere.
Yeah, now, riding around in tractors at 20 mile an hour.
But you're setting up a lot higher.
Yeah, sit higher. Yeah, so it's more intimidating.
Lift kit.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you. So it's this story, right? That Josh is telling himself that he wants to be a Marine. And then he tried saying he wanted to go infantry. And as a dad, I'm thinking, come on, man. Like, and again, I don't want to diminish anybody that may be listening right now, but from my experience and talking to Marines or Army or anybody else that has an infantry that only did one tour and then got out, there's nothing to go to when you're done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a veteran's preference on your job application to be a fucking security guard, right? Or you can go work back in the day. You can work for like Blackwater or something like that. You could do special security, different things like that. That just doesn't exist really anymore as much.
There's no pathway outside of the danger close incidents that you're going to see as infantrymen.
Well, there's no glory to be had right now anyway, too. I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not deploying. We don't have an active war going on. It's not like a couple things. Like,
we snuck out in the middle of the night.
Exactly, at Kandahar,
Yeah.
I got my brother had done a little time there, or whatever. But like, I showed him, I was like, hey, yeah, you see these pictures from Kandahar? He's like, what are you talking about? He was like, yeah, we pulled out of there a week ago and whatever, and left everything. And he was like, what are you talking about? I didn't hear about that. I was like, yeah, we pulled out and just left everything. Didn't even tell him we were leaving.
No.
That sounds like Ryan with the. Never mind. Yeah. Ain't gonna get there. We ain't going there.
No, but because he was talking about like. He wants to deploy or whatever. Like
my son.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh yeah, you can get the guts and glory for like 2 years, and then you can like lat move to something else. And like, there's not even that anymore. One, like even myself example, I did a 5-year contract. I came in June of 2008 and left in June of 2013. Woo, that one's coming up.
Oh, it's the good
Not
stuff.
like that, but no. And during my 5 years, so I had 3 MOSs. 0311 was primary, which excuse me, golly.
That's infantry. That's a rifleman.
0311 rifleman, infantry. That was my primary MOS, but I don't really claim it because I didn't really do anything in it. Because my first 2 years, it was my secondary MOS, which is 8152 security forces. And then when I got done there and it was time for me to go to the fleet, the needs of the Marine Corps was, Stone Bay at Camp Lejeune working on the range full time. So I ended up finishing my contract out in the Marine Corps on the range for the last 2.5 years, which I don't regret. I enjoyed it. It got me to where I'm going now and what I'm doing now. But it would have been nice to be able to deploy and have those stories and have those experiences and stuff. And I think that's what, a little bit of what Josh has been sold on is like, oh yeah, you can deploy and stuff and you can get that and have a, dude, that's not going on right now. Like,
not as much.
You're going to go on a MEU. You're going to go on a MEU, you get stuck on a ship for 10 to 11 months, and you're going to come back. You're going to have a bunch of stories about the banana place in the freaking Japan, and you're gonna have people that got drunk and this and that, and like that's all you're going to have. But you're not going to have like the glorious war stories and shit. Which, I thought, again, I wanted that. I kind of wish I had that. But even if you do.
Yeah, but dude,
but looking at it from his perspective, I mean, it's your kid.
I don't want him to have.
You don't want him to be in that
No.
situation.
Yeah,
so.
and like my advice is going to be to him. Cause I'm gonna talk to him and stuff. My advice to him is to get something. Because like for real, you got to plan for you're going to do 4 and 5 and get out. Because I was and everyone
one or the other.
Everyone
One tour or a career.
Yeah. Well, everyone goes in there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do 20, and then like a year in, they're like, fuck this shit, I quit. But like either way, you gotta act as if, all right, I'm gonna get after 4 or 5 years. Whether I get after 4 or 5 years, or if I get after 20 or plus, where am I gonna be at? And like in my mind and my experience and what I'm seeing, especially locally to where we live, in Southern Maryland, and we're not too far from DC, is he should either go air wing. What is it? What do they call it? Cyber intelligence or whatever?
Yep.
No, cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity or intelligence.
Space Force.
Because you get out after 4 or 5 years, you got a TS clearance. That's a big boost. You have all that training, all that stuff. You get some civilian certifications and stuff. You're easily making 6 figures.
Well, yeah, you're looking good.
Like, does your son enjoy the area that he grew up in? Like, pretty much this Mid-Atlantic region, or does he want to get?
He wants to see some shit, right? So that it kind of makes sense, but Where I'm at, Richard, is that it doesn't have to be the Marine Corps.
No.
And we haven't got to that point yet.
It can be the Marine Corps.
Well, I'm asking. The reason I'm asking is, if he wants to come back to this region,
he likes it.
If he were to get into something that was, heavy in electronics, like I did, heavy into, cyber warfare, or even the Space Force, if he gets into something with satellites. Look at the industries we have around us. You've got Wallops Island. You've got NASA there at Langley. You've got Warner Robins.
Pax River.
Sorry, not Warner Robins. Pax River.
Yep.
General Electric.
Indian Head.
Raytheon.
Yep. Lockheed. Boeing. Everything is here.
You've got it all here. So, he could step into any career path he wanted to if he had that skill set. Even just the basic skill set that you get. When you go into any of those jobs in the military, everybody gets basic electronics. I don't care what you're doing. If you're doing something with electronics, whether it's airframe, mechanics, repairing circuit boards, any of that, they're all going to get basic electronics.
Unless you're an infantryman.
And in which case, they're going to teach you how to wipe your butt with the sand.
Yeah. And what color should be your favorite crown?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Eat this one. It's the best flavor.
Yeah, with what I did and stuff.
Ooh, I love purple.
Yeah, with what I did and stuff, honestly, it didn't give me much preparation. It wasn't like I came out and I could go straight into this job. It was all right, become a cop, a glorified cop, doing security and shit. Or what the fuck else? Or make your own path.
But if you work at a Walgreens in Los Angeles, so you could be like a door gunner.
I could.
Be like, he's over $1,000.
Yeah.
No, it's easy for us to sit around and kind of clown on this stuff, right? We all kind of went through it.
Because we've already been there, done
But let's look at, it doesn't matter what MOS you're going to choose. The military does instill specific values and discipline in you. So let's agree with that. And nobody here is talking shit about the infantry.
Yeah.
Right?
Nowhere will be a bad route. Let's find the best route.
Yes.
Let's think smarter, not harder.
If you're going to be a careerman and you're going to be a careerman and it's all your aspiration is, then be an infantryman.
If you want to be.
But if you've got aspirations to go in, get the experience, and then pull chocks, head out into the real world, have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
And there's not an open position for door gunners in the USPS that I know of.
And so one of the main drivers for him to select military service is the GI Bill. Mm-hmm. Right. The kid wants to go to school. He wants to work on computers in his life. Right. That's his passion. Doesn't matter what branch you go to. If you complete your tour, you're going to get the GI Bill.
Right.
Right. And it'll be taken care of.
And to sidetrack real quick, something that I want to set straight because I hear a lot of people say this. Oh, he's getting free college because he has a GI Bill.
You earned it.
You earned it.
Yeah.
You did that 4-year, 5-year, 6-year term, whatever it was you did, and you earned it. And let me tell you something. That man or woman that did that 4, 5, or 6-year term did more in that 4, 5, or 6 years than most people will do in 10 or 20 years.
That's right.
So they earned it, and I want to set that record straight because I'm tired of people saying go in there and get free college. It's not free.
It's on the contract when you sign it, and it's on the contract that I signed. It's on the contract you sign. It's also on the contract that people that didn't sign it didn't sign.
Right.
Everyone has the option. It's part of the just like if you get my wife's got a job and stuff, and it comes with pay, but it also comes with leave. It comes with healthcare and stuff. Hers, I'm not sure if it does, but some jobs and stuff, even on the civilian side, some jobs will pay for college.
Yeah.
It's part of the terms of your agreement and stuff.
Yeah, it's part of your compensation.
Yeah.
So with options, you're going to be proud. Doesn't matter what branch you go to.
There's no bad.
You know what I'm saying? Again, if we just pull kind of the pussy magnet part away from it, right? And if you want to be a career man if you want a professional career when you're done, you go to school, you get your GI, you serve, you get your GI Bill, you get back in school. There's some stuff there that I also want to explain to them. And if there's any kids or parents that have kids that are going through similar stuff right here, this is something to consider. So I've talked with my kids, and Dad here was never a rich guy. I didn't invest a lot of money for my kids to have for college, right? I invested in my kids as they were growing up. That was just the way that it was for me. So I don't have some big pot of money for them to draw from when they go to college.
Oh, my kids are going to either work or they're going to go in the military. I ain't paying for that shit. They're going to earn it the same way I did.
So I've got to deal with my kids, and I was telling Richard about it before the episode here, but we'll pay for half, and then for each year, we'll pay for half, and then they'll take a loan out for half. And if they get C's or better in all of their classes and they pass, we'll pay back that half. And the reason for that, and it's not my idea. I got this from one of my buddies. But the reason for that is so that they have some kind of accountability. They feel the sting a little bit. So if they piss off and they party and they do all this stuff and they end up failing their classes, dad's not paying for that. That's their decision. It's their responsibility to pay for.
No, right? I think that's brilliant. I do. That's an awesome idea. I mean, not only that, it's cool because you get to play like a mafia loan shark.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you owe me money. You got a D.
Yes. Yes. So that's kind of the plan, right? And so he wants to, so, okay, that's fine. You graduate high school, go to college. Mom and dad will help you live with us, right? We'll get you through best we can. And if we can't, ask grandma and grandpa or take a loan out, one or the other, right? But, that's not a unique situation. And I'm not a fan of the student debt crisis in the United States, but it's a reality, like it or not. So he's talking about going into the service, so he could get that free school, right? What does that look like, though? So if you look at a 6-year tour, by the time you're 6 years in, you're most likely an E5, right? Maybe sniffing E6, if you're a good soldier and if you're in the right MOS or something like that.
At what point?
6 years.
Damn.
Maybe not in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Right, they keep everybody at E4, right? The E4 Mafia. But at about E5 and close to E6, you're making enough money and you kind of have a level of independence and you're in your early 20s. You really want to just kind of quit that and go back to college. And not only that, you want to quit that, go back to college and move back in with mom and dad. Because your BAH that you're going to draw for your GI Bill is not enough to pay for your rent.
Well, there is another path. It would require staying in the military, but then they could go OTS. Mm-hmm. So they can get their schooling. They're still in the military. They're still getting paid while they're doing schooling. That is their job.
Yeah.
But when they step foot out of there, then they are now an officer.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, that's kind of the best of both worlds, because not only did they get their college paid for, they got paid to go to college on top of it, but they're stepping into a position that's going to pay them much more money back. And now they're also in a command responsibility.
Going Mustang.
But that's kind of that career move, right?
Right. And then he can get the Camaro.
Well, yeah. And I told him, I said, dude, why don't you do 2 years of college first, get an associate's degree, and then enlist as an officer, right? And working on your bachelor's. Yeah, you can.
At two
yeah,
years?
all you have to do is have an associate's degree.
Not
Be
Marine
working
Corps.
on your bachelor's degree. And
Not
you can
Marine
get,
Corps.
No?
Like one of those pussy ones you could, but like not Marine Corps.
So you could go into it. You could start working on it. And if you have your associates, you could also kind of politic a little bit to get ROTC in school, right? So there's a bunch of different ways. Also, here's the thing, right? Kids always think they've got enough time for everything, right? If you enlist and you start like in a year, after a year in, you kind of settled into your command and you start, taking, correspondence classes or online classes or stuff like that. By the time you finish your tour, you could have a degree, right? But you're going to get busy. Life gets in the way.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you get deployed or something like that. You're on tour. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're going to have a hard time accomplishing that. But there's just so much to it. But really this is where I'm going to stick in the mud a little bit. All right. And it's taken us, it's taken us almost 30 minutes to get to this point.
Let's hear it. I'm waiting. Anticipation.
Why the fuck doesn't he want to join the Air Force? All right. Now, Richard, I'm not talking shit to you. All right. But I was sharing a story with these guys. So after I got out of AIT, I ended up getting deployed with the Arizona State National Guard to the United States-Mexico border. I was there for 9 months. They're at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson. There's also a bit of an Army component there, and then also over at Fort Huachuca. There's nicer stuff. That's where like the intelligence branch is for a lot of different people. A lot of people from all different branches go there for education and different shit like that. Well, we ended up, as we moved over there to work the border, we got stationed in these Air Force barracks. Air Force barracks were beautiful, man. You got basically your own room. It's like a little duplex with 2 unique bedrooms and a shared bathroom and a kitchenette, right? And I got to stay there. I was on the border for 9 months. I got to stay there for about 3 months. It was comfortable in here, right? It's nice.
Right. See, that's what I said earlier. You were one of the old ones. See, now they got quads. 4 independent bedrooms, all with their own bathrooms, and then a common area with a kitchen.
Yeah, I didn't get that shit.
Now.
Damn.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I got moved from that.
You see my cuticles? They do them too.
I got moved from that to I think it was an 8-man or it was a 12-man bunk with 8 men in it, in a building where they had a galley shower on each floor, and the first floor was for women, The second and third floor were for men. And, you know, I'm on a floor with, 60, 80 other guys at least. It was just, and it was stunk, man. It was pre-World War II. You couldn't hang anything on the wall because you couldn't break the paint barrier because it was lead paint and people would scream at you. It was just a shit show, right? And all the while, I'm talking to my buddies. And as I mentioned earlier, Richard's Air Force. I got a buddy, my brother-in-law's the Air Force. Everybody knows, everybody calls it the chair force. And I know that's it, but if it's like, and I'm not going to get into any other, I was going to do some shitty analogies right there, but some of them might've been sexist and the other ones were racist.
Go for it.
So I didn't want to say any of that shit on the air, right? Because I'm not sexist or racist, but somebody out there in internet, somebody out there on internet world would probably try to cancel me. So I'm just not going to say it.
Yeah.
But when you got it, right? And the Air Force guys know they got it. You know what I'm saying? You guys know you got it.
Oh, yeah.
And Marine Corps doesn't have it, right? You guys grind.
We're definitely not talking about pussy.
You guys grind. It's say yes, sir, all this other shit. It's the fucking arguably the hardest, right? I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina for my basic training, and everyone called it Relax in Fort Jackson because it was arguably the easiest of the Army basic trainings.
That was in Columbia, right?
Yes. Yeah. But I've talked to friends and family that were in the Air Force. My stories, although at the easiest Army base, were exponentially more difficult than theirs in the Air Force.
Oh, yeah.
Just by pure abuse, right?
Like I said, if you can handle being yelled at, which, my parents did that to us on a daily, as long as you can handle being yelled at, Air Force basic training is nothing. I mean, it is really
Y'all got yelled at?
Yeah, I know. It's just difficult.
Y'all get a stress card? Were you able to pull your stress card?
I've heard that they started that. I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard that they started that, where if you're getting too stressed out, you can raise a card and the drill instructor or TI has to walk away from you. I don't know if that's true or not. Because when I was in, they actually threw beds. I mean, they did throw a bed at me. I did experience that. But like the physical training side of basic, like you go in expecting to be just the crap beat out of you, and that wasn't it at all.
No,
hell no. We sat in a chair most of the time, and we were getting instructed on Air Force history, on customs and courtesies, all that kind of stuff.
That was our time to write letters to our fucking girlfriends, all secretive and shit, and or fall asleep with your eyes fucking.
That was our time. The death by PowerPoint was an opportunity for a drill sergeant to catch you fucking up, catch you sleeping. It was another excuse to punish you. That was it.
Foot and ass.
See,
give me 20.
Yeah! See, there's no other language like that but Marine Corps. Shit just like Pantera, like nonstop in your face, right? It's like Cowboys from Hell up in your ass.
Dude, I got a story. I just got to share it real quick because I'm going to fucking lose it. So we're getting fucking quarterdeck. Quarterdeck is like when you're all doing whatever and all of a sudden all right, go to the quarterdeck. Go to the quarterdeck. You go into the quarterdeck to get fucked up. And up, down, down, from going push-ups to sit-ups, back and forth, just getting torn the fuck up. And I remember we were doing, it was 4 of us, and we were doing push-ups, boom, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And we had a new drill instructor. So we're in the end of phase 2, I think. We're out of the range, and they dropped a new drill instructor to us. And he's fresh from DI school and stuff, and he's wanting to get his. And dude's like, up, down, like fucking just going nuts and shit. And I remember we were pushing up, and he was in our face squatting. He was like, ah, and I guess this is the thing they explained it afterwards. But they scream so much, so hard, and especially in the beginning, that their muscles in their neck will bleed, and they'll taste that or whatever, and then they gag and they throw up. Well, he's like, and throwing up, and then he didn't miss a beat. He was like, and the drill instructors, the other ones are like, hey man, go, get in the back, drill instructor, get in the drill instructor house. And then they're like, you, clean it up, you 3, get the fuck out of here. And it was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Why do your drill instructors sound like Cartman from South Park?
They all sound the same. Yeah. You ever watched a Marine Corps drill instructor video? Yeah. That shit, everybody sounds the same.
I will pull up your head and shit down your neck.
Oh man, my favorite one is I was watching one recently where it's this kid. So you always got the DIs or an Army drill sergeants that kind of walk with you on patrol, and they're running up and down the line, just checking on everybody and shit. Well, there was a Marine that went down or something, and another one of his buddies ran over to the drill instructor, was like, hey, so and so was down, they broke their leg or something like that. So the drill sergeant's like, where? Runs over to him and says, just starts screaming. I was like, my leg, drill sergeant. And he's like, your leg. He starts grabbing his shit, throwing it. He's like, your leg, throwing it, and just like yanks him up. And he's like, you see, there's nothing wrong with it. He's like, fucked him up, just completely. They all sound the same. It was, yeah, dude. It blows my mind. And here's the thing, okay? As an E4, you didn't make any more money than you as an E4. No. In fact, you probably made more than him, maybe, depending on your MOS or whatever you were doing. But for the most part, E4 makes E4 pay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Whether
It
you're
doesn't
handing
matter.
out towels at the gym or you're doing an actual
Nah, it's
job.
all about your BH and where you're stationed at.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's where you make the money.
That's where you make the money.
Yeah. Anyhow, why would you choose to subject yourself to that level
Guts and the glory.
of nonsense?
It's to show these.
Yeah.
It's to show his balls.
But who cares?
He knows how
And
to
as you grow older,
our age, we don't care.
He's noticed over the last 6 months, I've been coming over a lot more and stuff. He's noticed, like, when I walk in a room, it's like, fucking the king's on deck.
yeah, right.
And then, like, he's like, Dad, why are you bowing to him?
Oh, shit.
The king's on deck. I want that. I want to be king on deck. He's going to come back from boot camp like, Dad, fucking kneel.
Say yes, sir.
Then they asked Ryan a question, and it sounds like Mike Tyson. Well, you think what happened?
Back's all fucked up, can't hear shit. Shit in his pants all the time. Fucking knees all blown out from rocking.
It was great.
I just don't understand why you would do that to yourself, right? Like, I get it. The Army wasn't, I mean, I made it through, and I enlisted a little bit older. I was 27, right? So I was kind of the old guy on the block or whatever, but why? Why do that shit to yourself? And even the Coast Guard's not as
Have you seen
bad.
our commercials?
Yes, a few that parade, like
the
dude,
sword, the dragon.
Have you seen your
slay the
latest
dragon.
commercials?
No.
No, you haven't seen the latest one?
No.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
With the woman? No.
Yes,
Oh,
it's the trans, cisgendered female type chick.
cisgender female. Yeah, like, I'm going to be a Marine.
I'm going to be my own hero.
I have a set of
I wanna
balls and a
be-
boob.
I want to be a female Marine. Yeah. What?
You know what? To each their own when it comes to that shit. You know, more power to you. But I just don't understand why. And so I'm trying to tell my son, you know, hey, do something different. Like, if you want to
bring him over to the house, and we'll bring him in my office, and we'll show him all the cool things you can do when you go in the Air Force. I've worked at NASA. I've been there, done that, put stuff in space. It's still there, still floating around. I work on radios now for Motorola. Worked on radios for municipality. I mean, build GPS systems, build telemetry systems.
Yeah.
You know, do all that cool stuff. You know, bring him over. We'll show him the ropes, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, okay, that running around and screaming's not worth it."
Yeah. I'm not knocking the Marine Corps. It's not what I'm doing. I'm saying that the amenities, the quality of life, those things are, and I'm not even saying go Army. I'm saying go Air Force.
Yeah.
It's just a better, like I just feel like you're maybe treated with more, at least even in service, right? Like, you're treated with more respect. You're treated as peers, you know, instead of just like fucking grunts, which is exactly what an 11 Bravo or 11 series is. You know, it's like, it's a grunt, you know, it's like, just consider something else. So I pulled some shenanigans. All right, I want to get to my shenanigans here. So I told you that the drill instructor, or I'm sorry, the recruiter called him, kind of cold called him the other day. And then somehow weaseled my son into going out with him today and like took a practice ASVAB. And, you know, he's working him. He's doing a good job. So I had a conversation back when I left your house, which is, I don't know, 30 minutes outside Ocean City, roughly with the traffic we
Yeah,
experienced.
with traffic, 15 minutes normally.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got him on the phone. I'm talking to him, and I'm trying to convince him, like, hey, just don't do anything yet. You know what I'm saying? And there's not much he can do because he's 17. He's not 18 yet, but
I don't know. They can do what all the new kids do now. They give them promise rings.
I mean, you know what? If Josh wants to be a Marine, fine. I just want to make sure he's doing it for the right reasons. And I think that, you know, it's like if you want to go car shopping and like the first place you go, they end up selling you a car, you miss everything else.
Right.
You know, explore your options. So on the way here, we found an Air Force recruiter down in Southern Maryland and called his ass, got his voicemail because, of course, he's 9 to 5 just like everybody else. Called his ass and gave him my son's number and said, look, my wife actually told him, she's like, look, somehow a Marine Corps recruiter got a hold of my kid. And Josh is like,
competition right off the bat.
He's like, and because Josh told us, he's like, I'm like 9 out of 10 ready to go. And so we told the Air Force crew, we're like, he's like 9 9 out of 10 ready to go.
9.5.
You need to get a hold of him as soon as you can.
Wash his mind.
Yeah. And show him. You know
Here's
what I'm
his
saying?
cell phone number. Text him right now.
That's what we did. Give him his cell phone number. Told him to call his ass.
He lives at this address. He's home alone all weekend. Get him now. Take him to MEPS now.
So I'm just trying to think, and I thought this was a good opportunity. Both of you guys are dads. I don't have a problem with the Marine Corps. But when it comes, and I know in the Marine Corps you can do cybersecurity stuff. You can do a lot of that different stuff, and there is some level of swaggery that goes with it.
Bodily swagger.
But you can certainly do that stuff in the Air Force. I feel that globally, at least across the United States, most Air Force bases are in more technology-driven locations. Mm-hmm. So if you get stationed at someplace and you like it there, it's a lot easier for you to just kind of transition into the civilian sector. If you decide to stay there, it just seems more realistic to me as a career. And if you choose to stay in and you choose to be a career airman, you're just going to have a better quality of life for those 20 years. You're not going to be stuck in shit barracks. You know what I'm saying? It's just
literally like a civilian uniformed job.
Yeah, it kind of is.
And you don't even have to go on base to convince him that things are nicer on an Air Force base versus a Marine, or just look at what's outside the gate, right? You go outside an Air Force gate, you got like Zales, Rolex, Ferrari, all these high-end places. You go outside of Marine base or an Army base, and
you got candies,
Piggly Wiggly.
Well, have you been outside of Andrews in Prince George's County, Maryland?
No, I haven't.
No. And they're not all golden great, everything. Of course, everybody's kind of got their own intricacies with that. And statistically, because the government is cheap and it is a lowest bidder type environment, the government primarily builds facilities in low-income areas, right? Yeah. Because the land's cheaper.
What does low-income come to them? Because like Pax River, you got Pax River and you got Lexington Park.
Exactly.
Yeah, but how long have they been there?
They've been there since the 40s.
Right. So, I mean, waterfront property was nothing back then. I mean, you actually didn't want to be on the water back then.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they had sea ships that would come in, right?
Yeah.
We actually have sea hangars there where the sea ships would land and come into the
hangars.
hangars.
You can't have a Navy base in Arizona, man. Come on.
Yeah. Right. But just primarily, just like the highway system, right? You buy the cheapest land. There's a certain percentage of population there that you really don't give a fuck about, or the government doesn't. And so they put freeways and interstates and trains and all this other shit through their neighborhoods. It's the same thing they do with military bases. Yeah. They plant them in these shit areas, So just generally speaking, your base is going to be kind of in the cheap part of town. But what's that cheap part of town next to, right? So like you've got Andrews, sure, but it's next to DC. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You've got Pax, but it's outside of the DC area. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Look at Pax River is one of the most wealthy counties in the United States, like top 30. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just there's a centered population of wealth right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was sitting here thinking, like, how could you sway your son into the Air Force, which is where you'd like to see him go? Obviously, he's a smart kid. He's AP classes, right? So, take him down to the gun range, have him hold up a gun and shoot it a few times. Okay, how much brain power did that take? Anybody can do that.
Hold on.
Hey, this is a practical training podcast, okay? We are a firearms instruction company.
Anybody can do it unsafe. It takes a special breed of people to do it safely.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Rebound.
Effectively.
There you go.
Change, brother. Get your change. That's a nice shot.
But he said he's good on computers.
Yeah.
Put him in front of a computer and have him do something for you. And say, not everybody can do that.
Right.
What do you want to be part of? The elite? Right? Not everybody can do that. That means you're elite.
Well, you have to think outside the box.
Yeah, but they got those people in the Marine Corps. They have computer scientists, computer programmers, cybersecurity,
yes,
IT
but you
were
always a gun toter first.
That's right.
That is one thing I've learned.
That's right. You're a rifleman first.
You are a gun toter first, and your MOS is second.
Is that the way it is in the Air Force?
No.
Because in the Army, you're an infantryman first. Everything else is second.
No, our job is our job. That is it.
You guys have guns?
Now we do have guns. They're
massive, right?
They're little plastic ones, have rubber bands on them.
Yeah. What's that? A1, and they got the what is it?
You got the Warthog joint.
And stuff,
the Warthog,
30 millimeter. Yeah.
But no, like at our job, where I was a 2 Alpha 0 X1 Papa, so I was electronic warfare, and then I got an advanced programs division, extra add-on, if you will. Yeah. But I did sign up to be a security forces augmentee when I was in Korea, because you can branch out and do some other things. Now, I really didn't do anything. It was just in case our base got overrun, I was one of the first people to get a gun, which, again, young and woohoo.
Yeah.
But, looking back at my Air Force career, I was in for 6.5 years active, 2 years as a civil engineer in the Air National Guard. I can say with absolute, I don't know what you would say.
Let's call it authority.
Authority. I can say with absolute authority that your job is what you're there to do. You're not there to tote a gun. You're not there to do anything other than concentrate on your job, because the way the Air Force is structured is your job is saving someone else's life. Everything revolves around keeping the airplanes in the air. I mean, that's just the plain truth of what the Air Force is. And, all these systems are highly technical. They need to be maintained. They need to be built. So you have to have people there to do that. Otherwise, the planes can't fly.
Right.
So you are there just to keep the plane flying.
I heard something else there also, because I do work near a Navy base. And I'm not going to put my real job out there. I don't want to get hemmed up. But I work with a lot of Navy guys. Yeah, it's in Arizona, but I live in St. Mary's County. But, with COVID, I could telework, right?
That's right.
So it's such a blessing. But anyhow, I work with a lot of sailors or former sailors, right? And one of the guys I worked with was an aviation technician, AT. Mm-hmm. He was he never made chief. I think he was E6. But so as an AT in the Navy, you have to learn AT shit for multiple different platforms. Mm-hmm. Right. And then he would go to specific schools, or while he was deployed and was working with Air Force types, right? Like the Air Force aviation technicians were masters of one aircraft. That was their bitch. They knew that, and they kind of followed that aircraft. Right. Yep. Whereas in the Navy, you've got to be an AT for 50-year-old jets, and new stuff. And it's just you got to learn all this shit, which there's an advantage to that in the Navy, because they do have so many different platforms. It's when they sundowned the P3 and then they opened up the P8 recently, if that P3 just kind of went away, and, if that was the only platform you learned, then you'd have to go learn. Yeah, you still have a job, because there's other platforms that you could support.
Well, not only that, when you're on a carrier, you only have a limited amount of people to work on stuff. So if half of them get killed or for any reason, they got to know how to work on the other stuff.
Yeah. That's a great point.
They can't just bring people in like we can on an Air Force base. Call the next base over. Hey, send me some guys.
That's a great point.
So they got to know everything, because they are it. That's all there is.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, this is my current moral dilemma. At home, at least, I'm trying to get my son figured out and to get him lined up better, and just try to make a good decision. Honestly, if he wants to enlist in the Marine Corps, more power to him. There's a few variables there. It's do you want to be a career guy, or you want to do one tour? If you're only going to do one tour, and your only kind of ambition here is to learn some self-discipline, get to college, stuff like that, it doesn't have to be the Marine Corps. That's my, whatever it is. I hope that he's successful. Yeah. I just want the best for him. And honestly, as we said at the beginning of the episode, I know that Marine Corps, there's a certain kind of esprit de corps that I think the Marines have that other branches maybe don't necessarily have.
Maybe?
Yeah. They're Marines recognize Marines. There's that whole Semper Fidelis shit that you see in everybody's signature line. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's once a Marine, always a Marine, all that stuff, right? There's something.
You can smell it when I walk in the room.
There's something about Marines that other branches just
smells
don't
like beer and disgust.
and abused wives, and just fucking diesel trucks to overcompensate and everything else, right? It's just ridiculous. But
big old truck.
So I encourage him or something, but I just want him to make, as a dad, I think you guys can relate to this, right? Yeah. We want to protect our kids, and I understand just the fucking pain and depression and all this other shit that you're going to experience in those 13 weeks of Marine Corps boot camp. It's going to be tough. You're going to come out, someone's going to try to give you a 30% loan on a car. Mm-hmm. There's going to be candy at the
titty bar.
At the titty bar. There's always, it's going to be that.
But let me ask something. You went through it. I went through it. Well, I didn't go through what you guys went through, but would you take it back? Do you believe you are the man you are today because you went through those things?
Yes. No, I would not take it back.
Okay,
I am the man I am because of the things that I learned, some of that discipline. But I think that, just looking across the table at you, Richard, you've got integrity, leadership, all this other shit.
Where's your wallet?
Gained.
Where's your wallet? I got it. Yeah, so there's no integrity. No.
I think you're going to get
There's
that.
only one thief in the Marine Corps. Everyone else try to get their shit back.
I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was saying that I think that that those fundamental values and shit like that, that pride and the things that you can get from any branch of service, I think you can get from any branch of service.
Right. That's true. And I agree. I just, at the end of the day, it's going to be my son or my daughter, sons, I should say, or daughter is going to make the decision that, like you said, we can only hope to guide them. But you don't want to push. In my mind, you don't want to push until they resent you and they do it just to piss you off. Kids are just that way. I know I probably would have.
Yeah.
If my parents were like, no, you're going to go Marines, and they'd be like, oh, I'm going to Navy, just to piss them off.
Yeah.
It's just guide him the best you can, but it's going to be his decision at the end. I mean, that's
what I'm hoping for. Tell me about Shorebilly Farmer real quick. Let's get this out here. Who is Shorebilly Farmer?
Well, I'm a first-generation farmer, as you all have heard.
Is that a country song?
It is.
I'm a first-generation farmer.
That's right.
If it's not, it should be.
Yes.
And so we started this YouTube channel, my wife and I, to basically talk about being a first-generation
So is
farmer.
she the Shorebilly Farmer or are you the Shorebilly Farmer?
I'm the Shorebilly Farmer. She's Miss Shorebilly.
All right.
Yeah. Now, we've got Little Billy. It was a little one, and we ain't figured really other names for the other kids. But
is Shorebilly like a thing that you came up with, or is that like kind of thing in general?
No, it's kind of been floating around for years.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, sure.
there's all different kinds of businesses out there that
You just
at
made
some
it famous.
time. Yeah, I just made it famous. That's right. Yeah.
So, okay, you and your old lady are Shorebilly Farmer.
Yeah, we're Shorebilly Farmer. And basically it was, we started watching some of these YouTube videos of the big farmers out west. They were kind of doing their day-to-day thing. And I was just thinking like, this is really cool, but this is, a 5-generation farm, thousands and thousands of acres. Their story is nothing like mine. And then we got thinking about it. We were like, you know what? We can tell our story. Because it is unique. First generation farmer obviously has struggles that a 5th generation farmer doesn't have. The type of equipment we use is different because we all are smaller farm. And then on top of it, we farm in a very unique area here in the Mid-Atlantic. We have to deal with hurricanes and tropical storms and nor'easters and flood waters just from king tides, can actually come up through the ditches and into the fields. I mean, all kinds of stuff that we deal with that they don't out there. So,
and that's salt water.
That's salt water. Yep. And so, you know what? We need to start documenting this. If nothing else, that way our kids, if they want to hand down the farm to their kids, then my grandchildren or great-grandchildren can go on YouTube if it's still around and be like, that's my great-granddaddy. That's how this all started. And that's kind of how it really got started. Now we're up to like 500 subscribers, thereabouts, and we've had a lot of really good engagements with people. Actually I've had a lot of other farmers comment from out west or even here on like, oh, you guys do things different than this is how we do it. And it's cool to get a conversation going. But it has opened up a lot of other doors too. I'm now something I never thought I'd be. I'm now a board member on the Grain Producers Association for the state of Maryland.
Nice.
Which I never thought I'd ever do. And I actually used to complain because they always take money out of our checks from the co-op. And it's always a soybean checkoff or a corn checkoff is what they call it. And I was always like, why are they getting so much of my money? And, I was always bitching about it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Until I know what it's for, I shouldn't bitch. Well, now I'm going to get to learn what it's really for, because I'll be the one voting on how we use that money.
All right.
For, research and basically to advertise Maryland grain. So it has opened up a lot of other doors and education.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey. So we are at the beach house with lots of kids and women running around.
Yes.
Lots of women and kids.
So that's kind of the rundown on the Shorebilly Farmer.
Yeah.
That and Hillbilly just didn't work. We don't have hills. The largest spot of Worcester County where we farm is the landfill. So it has to be a Shorebilly.
So speaking of kids, we do all got kids upstairs except for us because Raylene and I are the responsible parents that pawn our kids off on somebody else. Right, you know what I'm saying? But Ryan's kids are here and Shorebilly's kids are here and stuff like that. So at some point we do got to get up there and do the dad stuff. But Shorebilly, it's been great, coming out here and hanging out with you. And I think, Ryan and I both agree that, what Ryan does and what PTP does wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for people like you that kind of opened your home up and offered your space to help Ryan continue to kind of spread the message, to support the Second Amendment, to train people to lawfully and legally defend themselves in accordance with the laws that we have to follow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So guys like you, make that happen for PTP. So that's really cool. But I know I heard you guys talking something earlier about some kind of agreement or something going on. What's up with that?
So he's got a thing. I'm gonna let him talk about like what we're gonna do with Shorebilly Farmer.
So Shorebilly Farmer, we're at about 450 subscribers thereabout. PTP Gun has their YouTube channel. They're just under 600 subscribers. So we are going to enter in a race. Me versus Ryan, Shorebilly versus PTP. And the race is going to be to 1,000 subscribers.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take from this point forward, we're going to make sure if you go on YouTube and you subscribe, make sure your profile is public. From this point forward, I'm at 450, he's at 590.
Yes.
Okay.
So, give or take.
So from anybody between this point to 1,000, we are going to do a random drawing on yours and mine. So 2 people total will win, right? Mm-hmm. And they're going to get a free training, PTP gun training.
Yep, out at your farm.
Out at my farm. And then we're also going to host, depending on the time of year, either going to be a kick-ass barbecue with, really good high-quality steaks or something.
And/or crabs.
And if it's that time of the year, we're going to do crab steam.
And if not, we can do oysters.
And we're going to do it Shorebilly style.
Yeah.
And we're going to make a full weekend of it. You're going to do your training during the day with Ryan, and you're going to kick back and relax and have fun and shoot the breeze, bonfire and beers with the Shorebilly and Ryan, because he's going to be there as well. And Mike, hopefully you'll be there.
Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah, well, I said beer.
I don't have to do anything to have fun. I just show up.
And then after the beer, we can get in the tractor and we can go.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what's a
drag strip?
Drag strip. Yeah.
One of the coolest things about this whole thing, guys, is because I'm sure that Shorebilly and us, we have people from all around the country that subscribe and tune in for the podcast and the YouTube channel and shit like that. If you're from somewhere else outside of Maryland, Richard lives 30 minutes really from one of the most popular beach destinations in the Mid-Atlantic region.
Oh, yeah.
So not only are you going to get to come here and hang out with Richard and go ahead.
4th in the country.
4th in the country.
Well, it was 2 years ago. I don't know what it is now, but 2 years ago, it was the 4th beach destination in the country.
So you hear that? You get to come out. You get some all-star training from PTP. Yep. You get to hang out on Richard's farm. And then you're right outside the city. You get to come out here and do the beach thing. You know what I mean? So it's a win-win. So
start smashing that subscribe button.
Yeah. Smash it how hard?
Well, I mean, if you got a nice keyboard, tap it. Just kind of like a...
What if it's touchscreen?
Smack the hell out of it.
Smash it.
Yeah, smash it. Yeah. Pantera.
You know what my son says? So I got this 9-year-old kid he's away, but this is hilarious, okay? And if you got kids and they always steal your phone, Mom, let me see your phone, right? That shit. So Nathan decided to start himself his own little YouTube channel at some point, and it worked for a minute, and then some shit went sideways and he lost his profile and had to start over. But one of his intro lines was like, all right, guys, smash that. So he's like, what's up, dudes? It's your boy Nathan, back with another video. That's kind of his shtick, And he'd be like, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notifications and make your mama's phone go ding. Because when you get the iPhone notification, go ding.
Dude, the kid's a genius.
He's clever, man.
See, I'm all boring on. Maybe that's why I need to come up with something, because I'm a little boring when I'm like, in my videos, I'm like, hey guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up,
please,
subscribe.
Make your phone go ding.
Yeah.
I'm begging you, please, for the love of God, hit the subscribe button. Validate what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm so desperate.
I'm tired of talking to myself.
Yeah.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Shorebilly, thank you so much for coming on the show, Richard. We really appreciate you. Thanks for hosting us this weekend. This has been a blast.
We're going to piss the neighbors off tomorrow with some gunfire.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do it. But
they're used to it.
Guys, check it out. Find Shorebilly Farmer on, yes, there is a competition here. Make sure you subscribe to this channel first. And then go over to Shorebilly and make sure you give him a thumbs up and a subscribe over there too, all right? Yep. We got a lot of listeners out in the West that are farmers, ag guys that grew up around the area I grew up in. Come check out Shorebilly. Find him on YouTube. He's a good guy, all right? And with that, any closing thoughts there, Mr. PTP?
Stay strapped and get clapped.
That's it, baby.
Yeah.
All right, take care, everybody.